Hello and welcome to Character Unlock, episode 29. Yep, that's it's me talking, John. It's an odd number, so that's kind of how it works, I think. We're going to be going through, actually, games, funnily enough. I mean, a gaming podcast talking about video games, and not just video games, but video games we've played. Yes.
Who would have thunk it?
After several weeks of us not playing anything, we're moving, and EGX itself as well, I guess. We're actually moving on to being able to talk about games we've played. So, yep, as I said, I'm John, and with me is the Brooker man himself. How are we, mate?
Mate, I'm not exaggerating at all when I say my entire house smells like pumpkin.
It is the season, I guess.
It really is. I've never carved a pumpkin before.
Are you entering a competition for pumpkin carving?
No, not even a little bit, because I've seen what people that know how to carve pumpkins can do. But, you know, Nikita's old enough now and kind of wants to get into it, and I love Halloween and all things Halloweeny, so, you know, let's start carving pumpkins. So I carved a pumpkin, and now the house smells like warm pumpkin because I stuck a candle in the motherfucker and slow cooks it from the inside.
Yeah, that happens.
But apart from that, I am all good, mate. How about you?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Not been carving pumpkins, I guess. I don't have a little one, so I don't have any reason to carve pumpkins. Or I also am not a big fan of Halloween, I guess. I don't know.
You are a big old sissy girl. We have established that.
Yeah, it's not so much that. It's just that I guess I'm not a man-child or an actual child, so I've got no real reason to be interested in Halloween.
I am somehow both of those things.
I can get drunk and dress up anytime. I don't need it to be Halloween to do so.
Please don't. No, I just love it. It kind of goes along with the whole loving most things horror and ghoulies and ghosties. And I'm basically a giant emo. So, you know, it works well for me.
Giant bearded emo.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I suppose our next recording would in theory be our Halloween episode.
Yeah, we done a Halloween episode last year, didn't we? We talked about scary games and kind of figured out that you don't play many scary games and
probably yeah.
Yeah. I might play some scary games because obviously Halloween's coming up, but the problem is, mate. You know what we're going into. You say we've been playing games, but we're at the start now of silly season.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to keep up with the games coming out, let alone the games I currently want to play, and now the scary games for Halloween. It's just going to be fucking impossible.
Yeah, and plus by the end of next month, we'll be playing on the Xbox One X's with a little bit of luck.
Oh yeah, well, fingers crossed. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. But yeah, it's I kind of sat there today and I was looking at my notes for today's podcast, and I was really chuffed because I've got a few games to talk about, you know, and I've actually got things to say about them. I was like, this is awesome. This, you know, it's been a couple of weeks, and this could be the start of, you know, a couple of weeks of a couple of episodes of talking about a lot of cool games coming. I was like, oh shit, next week South Park's coming out. Oh shit, the week after that, Wolfenstein and Assassin's Creed are coming out. Oh shit, then Call of Duty, and oh, for fuck's sake, how the fuck am I going to do this?
Yeah. Especially considering you've boxed up your Xbox.
Yeah, my poor old Elite's kind of just sitting there staring at me a little bit sad from underneath the TV, boxed up and ready to go. So actually, as much as I want to buy it, and I will be buying Assassin's Creed, I also want to play it on release day. So I've rented, I will be renting it on PS4 just so I can play it.
I'm holding off, and I'm probably going to buy it after my One X comes through the door, or rather, I go and pick it up from the shop and walk it through the door myself.
Yeah, I think what I might do, because obviously Assassin's Creed, as a good example, doesn't have the best reputation for day one quality.
New.
And as much as I love the series, and I'm really excited to play this one, I think the 4K patch that comes out a week after the game comes out will do more damage than it does good, and I will let Ubisoft fix it before I spend any money on it. But I will do the standard Brooker thing, and I will go and buy the gold edition or whatever they want to call the version that comes with all the season passes and extra missions and shit. So they'll get my money, just might be a bit later than normal.
Yeah, and I'm fortunate in that for the games I'm going to cover and what we've been playing, I'm pretty much set for anything up until the Xbox One X comes out, so I don't need to worry about buying new games and playing them and boxing up my consoles ready for the One X.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty lucky in that one.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of lucked into some cheap games that I'm really looking forward to playing. The problem is, I lucked into them at the wrong time.
Yeah.
I've literally I bought 5 new games technically, I suppose, in the last few weeks, and I don't have time to play any of them now. But I suppose I'll cross that bridge when I come to
Yeah.
it. The worst first world problem there is.
Well, I don't know. I'm pretty sure I've heard some other really fucking bad ones.
Well, yeah, but not having enough time to play all of these games that I can afford to keep buying. It's pretty up there.
How about the cash machine not giving out like £20 notes? When you take money out, it always comes out in tens.
Yeah. Oh, my wallet's not big enough for all these tens.
Yeah.
My wallet is not big enough for all my money.
Now that's a first world problem.
There really is, isn't it?
So let's move on to the news. So, in terms of news, we've had, well, the one that everyone's going to be talking about, and so we will probably join in and say there was a Red Dead Redemption 2 trailer somewhat recently.
There was. It was last week, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So
it looks gorgeous.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for the next announcement of, oh yeah, by the way, it's coming out in about, another 12 to 13 months.
That's just the biggest problem with this trailer that's come out. Is it looked amazing. It introduced you to the protagonist, whose name I cannot remember. I should have written it down before we started. Yep. Like I say, it looks phenomenal, and I can only imagine what this thing is going to look like, on a 4K console and a 4K TV and all that. But it still just said the very vague spring 2018. Spring 2018 is only a couple of months away. It's time for a release date.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. The whole Q2 2018 really is... it's not really a good plan at this point. The player is
it doesn't bother
Arthur
me.
Morgan.
Yes. It doesn't bother me that much. I will play it. I'm really looking forward to it. But, Rockstar must realise that they're part of a culture where people book time off of work to play games. The only reason I'm not booking time off of work to play games this year because I don't have the time to book.
Yeah.
People book time off, and some people need. I know it's a stupid thing. Again, another first world problem. I don't know when to book time off so I can play my stupid fucking game. But give us some. Don't just go. Oh, okay, it's coming out next week.
Yeah, right. It's like a week before launch, so it's like, I don't know, bank holiday weekend in the middle of March, May, whatever the fuck. And it's just like, oh yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2 tomorrow. Goodbye.
Yep.
Although they could probably get away with it.
Oh, they would get away
It's
with
like,
it.
yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2 releases tomorrow. It's been sent to stores. It's only available through the Rockstar Marketplace.
Oh, God. There's a terrifying thought for you. But yeah, I don't have much else to say about the trailer. Looked gorgeous. If you're into westerns, it looked like a western.
It's actually a prequel to Red Dead Redemption. So it's not even Red Dead Redemption 2, it's Red Dead Redemption 0.5.
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, because the gang that your protagonist is in is the gang that
You
John Marston was part of
and destroyed by the
and
end.
destroyed. Yeah. So whether or not we get to see a young John Marston
Well,
could could be kind of
yeah,
cool. But I, I've not read too much on it. I can't be asked reading story and that for something that's going to get me super excited for a game that I'm not seeing until next year. Got so much coming out between now and then. I'll start reading up on Red Dead after Christmas.
yeah, probably for the best.
Yeah.
So, other news is that Volition have let go a big old chunk of staff.
Yeah. So like, I think this is like
Yeah,
30 staff, uh, which doesn't sound like a lot, but they're I think they're like a 200 strong studio, so they're
no,
not a huge studio anymore. Uh, but by all accounts, Deep Silver were a little pissed at thanks Cookie. By all accounts, Deep Silver were a little pissed at the at how poorly Agents of Mayhem
yeah,
performed.
yep,
I think in sales and in review, because it didn't do well in review, and it certainly didn't do well in sales. I think it came like at the week of release, and you got to remember
yeah,
it released in the summer. It came like it charted
yeah.
at number 4,
When
which is not good when you're supposed to be guaranteed a number one
yep,
spot when you come out during
come
the
out
summer
during the summer
drought.
drought, release a game that by rights should be hitting number one because it's basically Saints Row. Would pretty much guarantee it if they just called it Saints Row
Yep,
5. And you're beaten to the top of the charts by a game that's been out for like 4 years in GTA. Because
yep. You know, it's it's really sad because Agents of Mayhem had potential, but it squandered it. It was badly marketed. Is it a Saints Row game? Isn't it a Saints Row game? I spoke about it loads a couple of months back when it first came out. Just it was uninspired, not that much fun after a little while, very repetitive. You know, do me a good Saints Row 5 and maybe I'll forgive you. But until then, Agents of Mayhem is a flop, and I haven't finished it and
no,
probably won't. Just can't be asked. So, yes, it's a shame that these people have lost their jobs, but, and it is a shame because they did work hard on it. The game was just lackluster.
it wasn't particularly fantastic. It wasn't deserving of the absolute hatred it received, but you know, you can't release a game half-assed like it seemed to be. I mean, they probably
No.
put a fair amount of effort into it to start with, and then realised that there was nothing really to go with it. It probably would have helped if they'd made Agents of Mayhem be instead of just being a Saints Row spin-off.
Yeah, and I think I said this when it came out as well. The problem with it was it felt unfinished. Like it had this entire thing where you walk around with three different. Sorry, you had this entire thing where you walk around with like three different people, but they're interchangeable. But what they should be is three-person co-op, and it felt like it was designed for three-person co-op, and you just didn't get it. It felt like they had to rush it out, or they weren't given the budget to make it co-op, or something. Something went wrong in development, and they scrapped the co-op element. But it was
Yeah,
definitely supposed to be there.
it was. You know what? Three-player co-op Saints Row sounds amazing, and I said that when you were talking about it the first time
Yeah,
round.
two-player co-op Saints Row is awesome.
Yeah,
I love Saints Row in co-op. It's so much fun.
yeah, just running around and nuking the floor with the Saints Row 4 powers was fucking hilarious.
Exactly.
Is there? There was no co-op in Agents of Mayhem, is there?
No, none at all. It's a completely single-player experience. That's what makes me so sad because usually that's something I would be properly behind.
Yep.
You know, I love I love a good single player experience, but it just wasn't a good single player experience.
Yeah, a good single player experience or fun single player experience with hilarious co-op that you
Yeah,
can just do. I mean, if Dead Rising 3 can offer co-op experience like what it did back in the day,
yeah.
then I'm pretty sure me and you on a Saints Row spin-off would have been fucking hilarious.
This is what I mean. But there seems to be something about these games that are built for co-op that then suddenly don't have it. Because you say Dead Rising 3, Dead Rising 4 had no co-op at all,
Nope.
and really should have done. Because again, the kind of game that's built for it,
Yeah.
I don't, I don't understand the logic behind taking away quite a big selling point to something like that.
Oh yeah, I was exceptionally pissed at Dead Rising 4 when I was looking through it and I was like, Dead Rising 4 had multiplayer the whole way. I was reading it everywhere. I finally got the game and I had a look and the multiplayer was basically a couple of missions.
Yep,
Not even like free roam or anything like that. It was literally just missions.
yep,
Missions on a fucking game that is based entirely on uh wandering around smacking zombies with, well, dinner plates
yep,
and guns that shoot rubber hands.
yep. Oh, well. But yeah, it's a shame. I, I would love Volition to make another Saints Row game and kind of redeem themselves. Can but hope.
Yeah, be interesting if they do get another shot at the well, the proverbial brass ring that Saints Row 3 made.
Yeah.
But who knows? Who knows?
The nose knows.
And the only other piece of news we've really come across is going into the EA Access Vault is Dead Space 3 and Mass Effect Andromeda, which is not even a year old yet.
That's that's a shame and a surprise and yeah.
Not even a year old, and I'm pretty sure has had no DLC bar a bit of the stuff for the Horde mode.
Yeah. And
And
no,
even
you say that, not even a year old, had no DLC, and at one point was one of EA's biggest titles or biggest IPs that wasn't a sports franchise.
yep,
Yeah, and obviously at this point we've only had the announcement that it's going into the vault, and they said this season. So fuck knows when that actually means it's going into the vault, but it will still be less than a year old. But we were talking about it before we started recording, weren't we? Well,
yeah,
I said to me, it speaks volumes about the quality of a Mass Effect game where you've turned around and gone, well, I don't want to play it again. You know,
yeah,
if a guy who could literally spend all of his time playing nothing but Mass Effect doesn't want to play Mass Effect, you fucked up your game.
yeah. I mean, I would absolutely 100% play Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 again. Drop of a pin. Just
Yeah,
at any point, just, I'm bored, let's play Mass Effect. You say I can't play 1, 2, and 3 and I have to play Andromeda, I'd probably go, I've got other games to play, I guess.
yeah,
It's not a good thing. It's
no,
not. And I can't even say exactly why. It's just the story didn't interest me all that much. I I didn't care about all the other things that everyone was whining about, graphics problems, people's faces being ugly, you know, the voice work not being in sync all the time, some of the voice work being pretty poor, but I liked the characters apart from the really fucking irritating black dude. I've forgotten his name, Liam, and the new alien race that you meet, although they're not really aliens because it's their galaxy.
yeah,
Didn't care a shit about them, but the story just there's a the plot twist in the story is fucking obvious from fucking miles away.
yeah,
Just I don't know. Something about Andromeda just didn't stick with me very well, and the opening at the end for an obvious sequel. If we see Andromeda 2, great. I might go out and buy it and support BioWare because I like the studio. They've released some of my favorite games.
Yeah.
But if Anthem ends up being a load of shit when that comes around, then I would have no idea what the fuck they were doing during Andromeda when they clearly stopped working on it and moved on their entire staff onto Anthem.
Yeah. Anthem's the Destiny killer, isn't it?
Yep. Destiny Killer. Destiny, the other games that are also apparently Destiny Killers. The Division, that's the one.
Yeah.
It's the open world MMO console shooter marketplace.
I do feel a little bit sorry for BioWare with that game. Not because I think it's going to be shit. I think it might actually be really good, but it's already going to have. It's going to split audiences. Half it's going to be, yeah, this ain't going to beat Destiny. Fuck you, this game's shit. Even though I've never played it, this game's shit. And another bunch of people who play Destiny, love Destiny, pick up Anthem wanting BioWare meets Destiny and going, oh, well, this is just the same.
Yep.
You know, I don't want to shit all over a game that hasn't come out, especially, you know, from a company as world renowned as BioWare. But the deck's kind of stacked against them for that one, I think.
They need to find the happy medium. They either, well, I say the happy medium.
They need to find a good, unique selling point. Is what they need.
They need to look at the one thing that most MMO shooters or most co-op shooters or just shooters in general that involve a lot of time and effort to go into it
Yeah,
and just a fun story, they need to either go for proper character progress leveling, decent weapons, or they need to go completely batshit insane and go the Borderlands method, which is here's give everybody guns and lose half the workforce in 3 days.
yeah,
Because Borderlands style, let's have this gun and then let's have the same gun you pick up, only this time it has a different sight on it, and this one has a different barrel, and it makes ridiculous differences. The problem with Destiny is you pick up one gun, you then find another gun of the exact same name later on, and it's the same gun. Every single auto rifle from this guy always ends up being this same auto rifle, only a slightly higher level version of it.
yeah,
Or in my case, when I've got to this point now, it's a lower level version of it every time. There's no point. It's like the rolls on it are usually identical as well.
yeah,
It's usually one of three rolls. It's usually something like it has a different, has a higher magazine capacity, or it can have slightly better recoil, or it'll have slightly better stability, or something. It will be one of those three as an option. It's just the loot system in Destiny is tiny, and the tables are completely fucked at the moment.
okay.
It's just there's no reason to keep playing it, Destiny 2 at the moment for me.
I read a thing, might have been today, might have been yesterday. What's the big raid on Destiny 2 called? Leviathan?
The Leviathan raid.
Apparently, it's possible to cheese the Leviathan raid.
Yes, it is.
Like, really badly cheese it.
Yeah.
And because of that, Activision? Bungie?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember who made it. Bungie have said they're not going to release the. Hold on. Nope, I've lost it. The whatever the name for the super duper hard, batshit crazy level is.
Oh, prestige difficulty.
Prestige difficulty. Thank you. They're not going to release that until they fix the bug that allows you to cheese it.
Yep.
That's fucking insane.
Do you want to know what the cheese is? I mean, it's.
I read something. Is it? If I got this right, so it's all the team die, except for one person.
Yep.
And then one person has to do something, and
They
then
have to change character, basically. Basically, they have to log out of their account and back in again.
Yeah, as they die, they have to go into orbit and log out.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the team respawn, and then there are no more extra baddies, just the boss.
Yeah. There are no additional enemies, or ads as people call them.
Oh, is that what they're called?
It's just the boss. Which becomes fucking brilliant because you can then at that point, as the raid splits at the end, 2 teams of 3, Basically, you have the three people go into the all of you go into the Shadow Realm. You decide which three go back out into the
Yeah.
usual world, and then it's as you go through, there's three icons show up. You call them out, and the one that's not called out, you have to go and kill an enemy based on that icon,
Yeah.
which is made infinitely more difficult when there's about 50 enemies shooting at you in the regular world.
Fair
You
enough.
you do this cheese, no additional enemies turn up. So you listen for the three things called out.
Yeah.
You go and kill the other one with no consequences.
Jesus.
You do that 3 times, and then at the end of it, you get a damage buff based on the number of skulls you destroy, which is at the very end of the Shadow Realm section. It's
Okay.
just a big wave of skulls coming at you.
Yeah.
A good team of 3 will get between 40 and 60 skulls.
Yeah.
You put 5 people in there because you only need one on the outside because they're not being shot at by anyone. They're not losing any health.
Yeah.
You can get like 120 plus skulls. 120 is the amount you need to kill the final boss.
Yeah.
So you can do it split across as many trips into the Shadow Realm as you want.
Yeah.
The more times you go into the Shadow Realm, the more difficult it is to do it.
Okay.
Because the Shadow Realm, what they do is they change the floor so that it has extra holes in it and extra lifting points in it, so you end up getting killed because you have almost no control over your directional travel. You're constantly moving forward.
Okay.
So you only have a bit of left and right. So if you're not in the right position, you're going to die almost, and with no stopping it whatsoever.
Fair enough. But yeah, this is
So
what I came across looking for news recently because, like, there's not been that much going on.
yeah,
Yeah, and literally this was the news that I came across.
yeah. So the prestige difficulty, or what was before used to just be called hard mode in
Okay.
Destiny 1, which is also where the challenges come in, and raid challenges are usually quite interesting. In previous Destiny, you'd get raid challenges such as don't let the Templar teleport at all, otherwise you fail the challenge. And if you complete the challenge, then you get extra rewards. If you fail the challenge, then, well, you don't get the extra rewards, but you still can complete the area.
Yeah.
And other ones like all 6 members of the fire team have to kill at least one oracle, and the oracles only show up inside the teleportation zone, and only 3 people get teleported. So the other 3 then need to open up the portal and walk through themselves. Which,
Okay.
with fucking loads of ads shooting at you, quite difficult. But that was from the original raid, the Vault of Glass,
Yeah.
when it was updated at the end.
All right.
So yeah, Destiny 2 raid cheeses, and just cheeses in general for Destiny, have been amusing to say the least. Like the original raid cheese was you just throw area of effect grenades at the feet of the final boss and he walks off the map.
No way.
Yeah, he literally, as enemies do, they walk away from area of effect damage, because if you're taking damage, you get out of the damage circle.
Yeah.
It's what any smart enemy would do. If they've got enough health to get away from the area of effect grenade, then they're going to do it.
Yeah.
So the one thing that most enemies don't have is when they're standing in an area of effect grenade is they don't have enough health or enough time to get out of the grenade and survive. And if they
Yeah.
do, they tend to get shot immediately and die after one bullet. A raid boss has a fucking lot of health. You put an area of effect grenade at his feet, he's going to step away from it.
Yeah.
And he steps in the way in the direction that, you put the grenade down at a certain point, he's going to walk in the direction that's the shortest distance to get out.
Yeah.
You put another one at his feet, and he'll keep walking. And you put another one at his feet, and he'll keep walking. And eventually he runs out of map to stand on and just falls to his death.
Fair enough.
Happens. So, that's the level of news that we've gone into. Really
Yeah.
went on a tangent from Andromeda.
That's all right.
We're going to go with what we've been playing. So, Mr. Brooks, how do you want to start things?
I don't know. I'm looking at my list. I've got 3 games I want to talk about, but only one of them I actually want to talk about kind of at length. So let's start with the ones I want to talk about quickly, I suppose.
Yep.
I played for the first time in ages, and the first time I think I've ever spoken about one on the podcast. I played an iOS game,
Yeah. Okay.
like for more than 6 seconds.
Wow.
Like for more than, oh, I just need something to do, so I'm going to play this game. But no, I actually played this for quite a substantial amount of time.
All right. What did we play?
There is an officially licensed Stranger Things 2 game.
Oh, so it's not that one that Danny recommended you to play, that Hex FRVR thing.
Oh no, I do play that, but that's a when you're taking a shit kind of game.
Yeah.
Stranger Things 2 is actually a I could play this for quite a while kind of game. It's basically a top-down pixel art kind of run through rooms game. It's yeah, there's not an awful lot to it. You know, it's room puzzles and you know, come across, you have to beat people up or shoot people, or a little way into it, you kind of have to figure out how to kill people who every time you punch it just says immune. So you have little room puzzles to switches and zap them and things like that. It's it's reminiscent of old, or I say old, you know, games like The Escapists still look like it, and that's what it looks like to me. It looks like The Escapists.
Okay.
So if you can imagine that kind of top-down pixelated thing. So it's that, and it's all tied into the upcoming Stranger Things series coming to Netflix in a couple of weeks.
All right.
But it's fun. It's plinky and plonky when you play it, and it ticks at you and it gives you a bit of character stuff for the kids from the show. It's fun. You know, it's free. It's on iOS and it looks lovely on a decent size iOS screen. I assume it's on Android as well. I don't know. I don't own an Android device, but it was a bit of fun. I really quite liked it. I found myself just kind of clicking through and running through rooms and doing these little puzzles, and then going, "Ooh, I've been playing this for like 40 minutes. This wasn't the plan. I just wanted to see what it looked like, and now I'm kind of engrossed." Yeah, was loads of fun.
So, as someone who's not seen Stranger Things, is it worth watching Stranger Things to play this game?
Now you can just play the game.
Cool.
It is, however, worth watching Stranger Things.
So, you both made me not want to watch it and watch it.
Well, the thing with Stranger Things is it is basically an homage to all things 80s horror. It's it references pretty much everything that, like, John Carpenter done, and these names will mean things to some people and nothing to others, but it's basically it's an 80s horror TV show, but it's not scary. It's not jumpy. There's a couple of nice atmospheric bits in it, but nothing. I wouldn't recommend it to somebody that doesn't like horror if it was scary. It's not. I would recommend you watch Stranger Things because it's actually really good television. But I would also recommend the game whether or not you watch the show, because the game's actually really fun.
Okay. I'll certainly look out for it if I happen to be flicking through the Apple Store.
What about you, mate? What have you been playing?
So, I'm gonna go with I've been playing. Shock surprise on this one, but I've been playing FIFA 18.
Okay.
So this game's been out for a little while. So I've played through the career mode, the journey, and reached the
Is
ending.
it still called The Journey?
It is. It's called The Journey Hunter Returns, I think is the subtitle for it.
Fuck off, Hunter Returns.
Yeah. It might actually just be The Hunter Returns, actually. No, I think it might just be Hunter Returns. Anyway, the journey story is you are Alex Hunter, obviously, and you start off...
returning.
Yeah. And you start off in the pre-season for the 2017-2018 season with the club that you finished last year with, unless you're me and you chose a team that got relegated last season. In which case, you pretend that your team didn't get relegated last season and you're actually playing as a completely different team.
Okay.
So I just randomly selected to pick a team. I didn't choose Spurs despite being a massive Spurs fan. I just went, it doesn't really matter. I know this. I know the story is going to take me away from this because I played the journey. I played the journey on looked into the journey on the demo rather. So I knew I wasn't going to be there for very long. So I picked a team at random, happened to be Man City at the time. And after the pre-season tournament at the start, you get to talk to Cristiano Ronaldo, who's the front page player for this generation, this season, this year's FIFA, and probably for the next God knows how long they've got a license for him for.
Okay.
Yeah. You speak to him, and he mentions you should go to play for Real Madrid. And a bit later on, you get your agent talk to you saying that Real Madrid are interested in you playing for them. And then things move into, turns out Real Madrid weren't interested in you, and you now need to find yourself another new club because the manager no longer thinks you're committed to the team, which is fair. You've just basically said that you're willing to leave immediately to go join Real Madrid. So you get the choice, sack your agent or keep him. I chose to sack him, and then your dad, Hunter's dad, legend footballer, something. I don't know his name. It's not
The
even
the legendary
the
Captain No
legendary
Name.
Alex Hunter's dad. Turns out to be a scout for MLS team LA Galaxy, and you then get chosen to play for LA Galaxy for the start of the year, until January rather, when the MLS season ends. Midway through, you're playing along, and you pick yourself your way through the MLS season as Hunter, and you find out that you have a half sister.
Okay.
So you meet your half sister, who plays for the US women's national team at the age of 16.
Okay.
You get to play the match as her.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you get to play as your sister for the US women's national team in a game. You only get to play the second half as she comes on as a substitute,
Okay.
just because that's what the game decides. And that's what EA have decided, that to try and really push women's football into FIFA, because apparently the achievements just aren't doing it enough anymore. The
Yeah, because
achievements.
that wasn't that the big thing last year that they made women's football available. Was that FIFA or was that PES?
FIFA has had women's football, but it's more than last year. I think it was 2014 it was introduced.
Okay.
But every year they've had since they've brought women's football, they've had at least 3 achievements, and they've always been the same ones: play a women's football match, win the women's international cup, and score a flair goal with a women's footballer.
Okay.
Those 3 achievements, and I think 1 or 2 others possibly, have been in it since the start.
Right.
Now, you can't get any of those 3 achievements when you play the journey because none of them count towards it for some reason. You you play
Fair
it.
enough.
You're playing a women's football match, and it doesn't count to the women's football match achievement. And I don't think Kim Hunter is capable of doing flare shots, so it doesn't. So she can't get the flare shot achievement either.
Okay.
So after that, you move after you win the MLS at the end of but you get a transfer to either PSG, Atletico Madrid, or Bayern Munich, depending on who you would rather play as. And in the journey, I chose PSG because I know that the reward at the end of it is an Ultimate Team Alex Hunter for the club that you selected. So I chose PSG because I'm working towards an Ultimate Team featuring a lot of Liga 1 players, the French.
Okay.
So having an extra player striker of Alex Hunter to go in really helped my squad out right at the start of playing it, Ultimate Team wise. And from that, you get to pick a strike partner between Thomas Muller, Dele Alli, and Antoine Griezmann. Thomas Muller currently plays for Bayern Munich, so choosing Bayern Munich means there's no point signing Thomas Muller because he's already there. Antoine
Okay.
Griezmann plays for Atletico Madrid, so there's no point selecting Atletico Madrid if you want Antoine Griezmann. I don't know why those two players were even an option if they already play for the clubs that you've got available, but fuck it.
Fair enough.
Let's just pretend it never happened. And then you pick up an injury, just off the ball. You're just running along after choosing your strike partner, and you get a bit of momentum going, and you pick up an off the ball injury. Turns out to be a hamstring problem, and you're laid up for 6 to 8 weeks or something. And this is where the story goes a bit silly, and then you get to take over the control of your best mate for 2 months to try and win the League Cup at your former club. So in my case, Man City.
Yeah.
And after winning the League Cup and playing against your main rival from the first game in the final with your best mate. So it's just an extra, double stab in the coffin of this guy's career that you made your rival in the first game, first story rather, is that now the player he considered to be even more beneath him is just beating him again in a final for another cup. So there's that. And then obviously end of the year, the journey ends. You get your rewards. You get to play Ultimate Team. So now I'm going to move on to playing Ultimate Team.
So can you not play Ultimate Team until you finish the journey?
Oh no, you can play Ultimate Team. I just
Okay.
I just opted to play the journey because there's achievements attached to it, so I thought I'd get them out of the way while I can. So I started playing Ultimate Team, and Ultimate Team from when we were talking about FIFA 17 with Matt. Yep, that's the one. So many people on this show. We've had so many people on this now. I've forgotten half their names. When we had Matt, we were talking about Weekend League, which was the competitive Ultimate Team. You have to play like 40 games in 72 hours type stick to try and get rewards at the end of it. Well, they've decided that they need to have another game mode called Squad Battle, where you have to play where you have the opportunity to play 41-ish games. I think it's either 41 or 45 games over the course of an entire week.
Okay.
In single player against the AI. You get points at the end of every game based on your performance. So you get points for the enemy, the person you're playing against. You get points based on the difficulty that you're playing on. The points based on the number of goals you scored, and you're just in general performance on the field. So you get more points for scoring goals, higher possession rate, fewer goals conceded, fewer cards conceded, less fouls given, more corners won, things like that. You get more points based on that.
Yeah.
And at the end of the week, over the course of your 41, 45 games that you've played, you get a point position on the table based on percentage. There's Bronze 3, which is anyone who finished a game, basically, because I think Bronze 3 is 99% of players, I think, is the ratio. But it might be 100%. It's either 100 or 99% of players. It's basically you play your first game, finish it. You don't even need to win on the easiest difficulty of amateur, and you will get the 33 points required to get yourself a reward.
Okay.
The reward being at Bronze 3 level a bronze pack, which is worth next to nothing for pretty much anyone, but it's still a reward.
Yeah.
So the 2 weeks that I've competed in squad battles, I've gotten myself Gold 2 tier, which Gold 2 tier is a Jumbo Premium Gold pack, which is 24 items, I think. So twice the size of a regular pack, and at least 10 of them are rare cards. You also get a Premium Gold Players pack, which is 12 gold players, at least 4 of them are rare, and also 13,000 coins. Coins being the in-game currency for Ultimate Team.
Yeah.
Gold 1 is 2 jumbo packs, a players pack, and 12,400 coins, I think. So it's less coins, but you get more. You get more cards basically, and those cards would probably equate to a considerably more coins than you just lost out on.
Okay.
That's Gold 1. And then above Gold 1, there's Elite 3, Elite 2, Elite 1. And then above Elite 1 is the top 100. And then the top 100 based 51 to 100 get rewards, 26 to 50 get rewards, and then the top 25 individually, depending on where you come, get rewards. Yeah. But being in the top 100, you're looking at people who play on ultimate difficulty win 5-0 every single game. Yeah. You've played all Madden.
Yes, I have.
All Madden's the equivalent to legendary difficulty. Legendary difficulty is the one below ultimate difficulty.
Yeah.
Because Ultimate Team has its own individual difficulty.
Fucking hell.
But now this is where the game's going to go. This is where I'm going to, throw a little curveball in here. The way that the difficulty is decided in Ultimate Team is through a series of in-game sliders.
Okay.
The in-game sliders change both yours and your opponent's ability. So it lowers your player's sprint speed and increases your opponent's sprint speed for the AI. Things like makes your players passing more prone to error. There's a lot more perfect. Makes their shooting accuracy a lot higher. Their shot speed a lot higher. Your shot speed lower. Your shot accuracy a lot lower.
Yeah.
So
is this new in FIFA?
No, this is kind of an odd, weird new recalculation of the way that their difficulty works. Before it wasn't so obvious that this is what it's been doing.
So that makes, because Madden's had that for years.
Yeah. It's an odd one. Before it seemed like the AI was a bit more knowledgeable in what was going on. Now it feels considerably more, we're just going to make it artificially more difficult by making it so that you get less of the ball, and everything you do when you have the ball is considerably more difficult to do. Whereas before, you used to be able to go around and shoot from 30 yards and know that you're more than likely to hit the target with X player because they're this good. Now it doesn't matter who you shoot with. It seems to be like if you put the game on a easier difficulty, your shots are more likely to go in. Not that the goalkeeper's less likely to save it, you're just more likely to hit the target.
Okay.
And the goalkeeper's less likely to save it. Now it's the goalkeeper's more likely to save a shot that you may happen to just about get on target. But because the artificial difficulty increases, you're less likely to have shots. So when you're going from 30 shots and 28 of them being on target and 18 of them going in, on amateur difficulty, or probably even more frequent going in, goalkeeper's less likely to save it or it get blocked. To you get maybe 2 shots and neither of them are on target, so therefore no goals.
Okay.
Yeah. There's just a massive stream of people whining about the difficulty thing, and it's been shown in that if you manage to get a legend or a high difficulty game to penalties, there's a dude who took a picture of his screen on Reddit for a bronze team ultimate difficulty that he was up against, and he took them to penalties after squeezing a 0-0 draw. And for bronze cards of about 59 rating, their penalty accuracy was in the 90s, and their composure or finishing, finishing was in the 90s. This is a bronze team. So it's not even trying to hide its artificial difficulty increases on sliders. It's straight up gone, this is a bronze team, and after the difficulty sliders have gone and done their thing, these players who should have, penalties of like 50 are now twice as good as they should be. It's an odd one.
Yeah.
And that's FIFA for you this year. But the little bit of good news I have about FIFA Ultimate Team is that it's pretty fun because I packed the second best player in the game. Non-informed version of him, but still one of the near impossible ones to just pack. Okay. And I immediately sold him on the transfer marketplace for over 1 million in-game coins.
Nice.
And because I had over 1 million in-game coins, and I'd already built myself a relatively decent squad, the players that I have left for me are, although really expensive individually, I've still got almost 700,000 coins left over.
Bloody hell.
Because I'm just not looking at buying the one player for Liga and that's going to cost me an absolute fortune. That player being Neymar.
Okay.
Brazilian, only just transferred to PSG, was previously at Barcelona last season.
Just said a whole bunch of shit that I don't understand.
He's imagine, I was trying to think, NFL style.
You have to dumb it down for me because I'm so fucking retarded when it comes to football.
I'm trying to think of a big name player that moved. Adrian Peterson moved from the
Yeah.
Vikings to the Saints. Now imagine if Adrian Peterson had done that, say, 10 years ago,
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
based entirely on money.
Yeah.
Money for the reason. Whereas, I mean, it's obviously it was money. The reason he moved because Vikings just didn't want to pay him the amount that he wanted.
Yeah.
But
Funny how that's come up again.
yeah,
And he's now a Cardinals player.
yep. So
But that's completely off topic.
yeah. So Mr. Brooks,
Yeah.
what else have you played?
I briefly played the Star Wars Battlefront 2 open beta. Did you get a chance to play this?
I completely forgot it was even a thing.
So did I, to be fair. And it wasn't until I was kind of browsing through the PlayStation Store and I went, oh yeah, beta. But it wasn't what we were playing at Eurogamer.
Okay.
So what we were playing at Eurogamer was the Battlefield style bit of it. So the squad shooty bang bang bit of the game.
Yeah.
The open beta on PS4 was the dogfighting bit.
Okay.
So space battles.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got to admit, I wasn't impressed.
Really?
Wasn't impressed at all. I didn't play it for very long, so I don't know if it improved, but certainly while I was playing it, I played the same mission like 8 times from both sides, and it was basically defend this thing or destroy this thing, depending on whether you were playing as the bad guys or the good guys. And yeah, you had X-Wings and TIE Fighters and flying around, shooting at everybody, and yeah, I didn't find it fun, like, at all. It felt slow and clunky, which isn't something I would have expected from a dogfighting game based in the Star Wars universe. It just didn't feel, I wasn't enjoying it, like, at all. I can't really talk to any kind of great detail about it because,
You're not a
like I
Star
say,
Wars fan.
well, it's not that I'm not a Star Wars fan, and no, I'm not a Star Wars fan, but I kind of sat playing this game going, I don't know why I'm doing this. This is boring. And I think that's the worst part, was the fact that I was bored. And I quite like space flight sim things, but right now, if you sat me down and said, here's Battlefront 2, you can play that now, jump on and have yourself some fun with the dogfighting, I would go, no thanks, I'd rather go and play Eve Valkyrie. Eve Valkyrie was a much better game, a much better dogfighting sim. Maybe it'll be better when the game actually comes out. You know, it's a beta after all, and it does delight in telling you that this is not final gameplay and all that kind of shit. And obviously it's only part of the game.
Yeah.
For Battlefront, because there is a story and there is the boots on the ground gameplay and all that kind of other shit. So it's just a part of it. So maybe I can forgive it a little bit there. But no, I just didn't enjoy my time with it at all. Like, while the stuff we played at EGX had me tempted to pick it up, that bit put me right off. So, will not be buying Battlefront just yet.
No. Pretty confident that even if you were to bust out Battlefront, you probably wouldn't. The most fun part about Battlefront that you probably had was that you kind of felt like you knew you were playing with the people that you were standing next to.
Yeah.
At EGX, whereas now you need to make sure that you're online, and you're going to be playing on your own mostly.
Yep.
And I suppose space battles playing with other people is a bit difficult. It's not like you can go and cover each other's backs in space battles because you're pretty much guaranteed to be nowhere near any of your friends.
No, this is true, and this is kind of what I mean now when I say like Eve Valkyrie. When I played that, you can play Eve Valkyrie without VR now as well,
Ooh.
which is really cool because I played that thing for hours with a headset on, and I came out with some gnarly headaches. Not because the game left me with a headache, but I kept staring at these screens that were uber close to my face for hours and hours and hours. But that's beside the point. The thing with like Eve Valkyrie was you feel like you're part of a group. You feel like you're part of a squad, even if you're not talking to the people in your squad. You know, and a couple of times I was in parties with people that I was playing with, and it was so much fun. Like this really satisfying moment where you'd kind of you'd shoot somebody who was chasing the guy you're talking to, and literally you feel like you're in Top Gun. It's fucking awesome. I just didn't get that feeling with Battlefront, you know. And I'm not its target audience, and that's fine. But I expected to have a little bit of fun with it, and I didn't really.
Well, you're flying a spaceship in space and shooting other spaceships. That sounds
Exactly.
fun.
I should be able to kill things, and I should be able to have fun. And no, it wasn't.
You did neither of those things.
Well, I killed some things myself a lot while I was learning the controls and kept flying into other things.
Well, space battles was a thing in Battlefront 1, and I played that a lot more than I probably should have done, but it did make me a lot better at doing that when doing the flying stuff in the boots on the ground game modes that involved picking up the fighters every so often.
Yeah,
So it was a lot better in the air for that, and I often ended up completely controlling the skies because I was up against other people who just didn't want to do it, but
yeah,
they kept seeing the icon on the map and going, well, if I can't be Darth Vader, I'm just going to fly around in an X-wing for a bit.
yeah. But
Um,
yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't have much else to say about Star Wars Battlefront.
it's a real shame, really. I mean,
But I mean, it should be said, it is a beta, and I played it for like an hour and a half. You know, it's there's not enough time to really get on and play anything, but it was enough time for me to change my mind and go from I will probably pick this up to
I'm probably never going to play this again.
I will definitely wait and have a sale or the Vault or yeah, it can wait.
I'm gonna. I mean, It's gonna have that 10-hour trial from EA Access, so I'll probably give that a go.
If
Um,
I can finish the story in 10 hours, I'll download it. I'll do the campaign and then delete it.
Oh, you'll be able to finish the story in 10 hours, but you won't be able to finish it in the 10 hours given by EA because they'll artificially lock out more than the second mission.
Yeah,
You can do the first two missions, and that's it.
fair enough.
That's what they did with the journey. You could play the first, you got to play the first game, I think it was. Or, no, you got to finish the first chapter, possibly the second chapter.
So with the journey, basically you've played it digitally on the journey
Yeah.
on the EA Access trial.
Yep.
If I then go out and buy the physical game, does that save still carry over?
Yes.
That's right. Because I kind of fancy trying the Madden one, but don't want to spend the money either physically or digitally just yet.
Yeah.
Because Madden goes onto the vault every year, so and I'm sure I can find it cheap somewhere between now and Christmas, just before the price goes up for Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
But
the
yeah, that's
trying to remember what the journey on Madden's called, isn't it? Like
the one shot or shoot me or something.
I thought One Shot was the one for the NBA Live.
It might be,
Is it?
but
I want to.
Madden.
It's
I'm absolutely not googling this while we talk.
like Gridiron or something stupid.
Madden 18. No, don't just keep telling me it's the journey for Madden. Long shot.
Long Shot. All right.
Wasn't far off.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Have you been playing anything else?
Yes, I did mention it briefly earlier. I played Destiny 2. The difference between the last time I spoke about Destiny 2 with Lee on the podcast, again, the last time I hosted, was that this time round I've played and finished the raid twice.
Cool. Is it true that that big raid takes 9 hours?
Oh yeah, it's fucking huge.
Do you have to do that in one sitting?
No, you don't have to do it in one sitting. You save checkpoints after encounters. With the raid, it's got an interesting mechanic where you go into a main hallway area,
Yeah.
and from that you get to do 3 separate encounters, but the order that you do the encounters varies each week. So the first time I did it, the first encounter was the Gauntlet, the second encounter was the Baths, and the third encounter was the Pleasure Gardens. Whereas this week it was the exact opposite. Actually, it was the Pleasure Gardens first, then the Baths, then it was the Gauntlet run.
Okay.
You don't have to go into the raid through the main door and go into the main hallway area and do the opening of the doors, which takes a fair amount of time, which probably takes the longest amount of time, is going in and opening those doors, because it requires going and picking up 3 staves, basically, totems, and plugging them in like keys to open up the door, and all the while fighting enemies. You can use the underbelly of the Leviathan, which is opened via pulling handles in a specific order. There's 6 handles. You just open them. It's like 1, 5, 3, 2, 4, 6 or something in that order. If you pull the handles in that order, then it opens up the underbelly, which there's several doors and paths into. And when you're in the underbelly, you can then get through the entire raid area without touching the opening, the main hallway.
Nice.
So the Gauntlet is an interesting one. You need to team up as a party of 6 to run the Gauntlet. 2 people run the actual Gauntlet itself, which is a big loop around the outside, and they have to run through little gates. But the gates don't open up until the people who aren't running the Gauntlet shoot out a couple of targets. There's three targets to shoot from. You're only allowed to shoot 1. If you shoot 2, it blocks it out. Okay. So each one of you has to shoot 1 of the 2 targets on either side, because you're running the Gauntlet in opposite. So there's two teams of 3 basically running the Gauntlet clockwise, opposite sides of the map, just in a big circle. If the person running the Gauntlet says that it's the top one, then the 2 other people have to shoot the middle one and the bottom one, and then if it's the middle one, it's the top and the bottom one. If it's the bottom one, it's the top and the middle one.
What the fuck did you just say?
Yeah, there's three targets, top, middle, and bottom. Then the person,
strike it lucky.
Yeah, the person running the Gauntlet, says to shoot. It says which gate's available, and the people have to shoot out the other 2 targets, basically.
Okay.
But you're only allowed to shoot 1 personally, and the other person has to shoot the other one that you're with in your team of 3.
Okay.
That's how the Gauntlet works. And then at the end of that, it's a run around as a group. All 6 of you have to try and run the Gauntlet, but with each pass through the gates, there's only 5, possibly 4 checkpoints each to each set of the gates to run through. So of the 6 of you, 1 or 2 of you have to sacrifice a checkpoint, which means that you don't get a checkpoint time boost. Typical Outrun style, if you don't reach your checkpoint, you reach your checkpoint, you get a time boost, basically.
Yeah.
And then you have to make it back to the middle of the arena, after you've run all 6 of you have run the Gauntlet at once. And you need at least 3 or 4 people to make it back in order to successfully complete the Gauntlet.
Okay. So Destiny's still done in 3-man fire teams, right?
Yes, but raids are done with 6-man. It's really fucking confusing because it's 3-man fire teams for pretty much the entirety of Destiny. 4-man fire teams for the Crucible, the PvP, and 6-man fire teams for the raid. 6-man maximum.
Fuck off, Destiny. Just fuck off.
6-man maximum, but I think that there is... people have managed to complete the raid as 2 people without cheesing. I don't know if they've completed the... because you can't physically complete the entire raid as 2 people. Because the gauntlet itself requires... well, 3 people. 6 people, rather. Because you can't run the gauntlet and do shooting all of the targets out and killing all of the enemies as less than the 6 people. The same with the bath section, it requires 6 people because there isn't enough time to get between the 3 checkpoints individually.
Okay.
And the pleasure gardens requires more people doing it the better, but it requires at least 3 people. Because you need 2 people to start it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, because in order to start it, 2 people need to pick up a crystal individually. So one person can't pick up one crystal, drop it, and then go pick up another one. You need to pick up both crystals at the same time. So you need at least 2 to start it, and a third person to actually do the objective.
Okay.
I suppose 2 people could do it. It'd just be really fucking difficult.
Yeah. Still enjoying it?
Still enjoying it. Ish. I mean, the grind is ridiculous at the moment, and I haven't really dipped too heavily into the PvP, and I haven't tried any of the competitive bits of PvP, the Iron Banner and the Trials. The actual competitive parts, not including the competitive PvP as it's called. There's quick play and competitive, and competitive is supposed to be more difficult, and it's the more interesting, it's different game modes. Instead of just being standard TDM and capture the flag, domination style. It's actual game modes like Kill Confirmed and like elimination game modes and the Search and Destroy type game mode.
Yeah, I feel I'm so out of the loop when it comes to Destiny that I'll never be able to jump in. Like I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they were talking. It might have been there. I was listening to it, talking about the raid. And I'm like, yeah, I can't. I won't be able to do that. I'm nowhere near level 280. I was like, what? What the fuck are you talking? 280?
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah, the Destiny leveling system's not experience based once you reach level whatever the fuck. Actual, like, physical level 20? Yeah. Once you reach physical level 20, it becomes based on your gear. So you're looking, it runs an average of your gear score. So
it's a whole culture so different to everything else that's ever been done. I can't deal with that.
Well, the fact that you can almost specifically skip entire levels if you think about it as a leveling system for the light levels, so the level 280 once you hit level 20, you can pretty much skip completely entire sections of light levels just by putting on a bit of gear that's considerably higher level than the rest of yours, because it averages your score out. So if you've got, for my case, I've got weapons over 300 light, because that's what I'm aiming for. I'm over 300 light. If I was to put that gun on one of my other characters, if they happen to be level 20 and their light level is like 100 and something, if I throw a 300 gun onto it, their light level's going to jump up like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
And then because their light level's jumped up like that, all of the stuff that they're picking up is going to be based on that light level because they've got a 300 weapon on it. Yeah. Which is then going to artificially jump their light level up again based on the average score being raised because their current average score is higher. So you stick a load of 300 light guns on a character who's only just hit level 20, then all of the armor they find is going to be ridiculously high leveled immediately as soon as they pick it up.
Yeah.
Compared to your first character, which was grinding like a motherfucker, going, oh, I've got 295 weapons now. But my
Yeah.
armors are 280 levels. So now whenever I find guns, they're always lower than what I need them to be, and then you're constantly fighting with trying to sort stuff out to make sure you have the highest light level you can possibly be, infusing your weapons, doing powerful gear, completing the raid, finding exotic engrams, all that crap for a massive grind of going up a light level of maybe 1 a week. Yeah.
Fair enough.
I think my current peak light level is like 304 or something. And that's me running around with guns that I don't really want to because they happen to be my highest light level version of those guns. Well,
Yeah.
my highest light level guns, because you can only infuse weapons into equivalent weapons, so auto rifles can only be infused into other auto rifles, which is
Okay.
fucking infuriating when it used to be primaries with other primaries, secondaries with other secondaries, and heavies with other heavies. Now it's
Yeah.
exact matches, and I don't use pulse rifles very often. My pulse rifles are actually my highest light level, and it's really
Yeah.
fucking annoying because I hate pulse rifles. I loved them in Destiny 1. They were fucking brilliant in Destiny 1. Destiny
Yeah.
2, pulse rifles are shite. They've got... Well, actually, no. I found one that's alright, but it's only because it's got a ridiculously high fire rate.
Yeah.
But they don't do enough damage. Scout rifles do more damage, and despite having... Because scout rifles are single shot, they've got smaller magazines than a pulse rifle, but they're so much more accurate, do more damage, and you can fire them just as fast. A 3 burst of a pulse rifle will do less damage than a single bullet from a scout rifle.
Yeah.
But the magazine of a pulse rifle is not 3 times that of a scout rifle. It's usually not much more than double.
Okay.
Fucking ridiculous. And then there's auto rifles, which is what everyone uses currently in PvP because they're a bit overpowered.
Yeah.
Most of them, because it's a low gravity, fast paced skater shooter, all auto rifles are like fucking laser beams.
Yeah.
So the only thing scout rifles have is if you're shooting at range, you can usually, with a decent impact, give them a bit of recoil that they wouldn't normally have and they have to correct. But
Yeah.
other than that, auto rifles at any distance, apart from exceptionally close range and exceptionally long range, then auto rifles are the win.
Okay.
At long range, it's scout rifles, and at short range, it's usually the SMG. But that's just guns in general. The SMG is always better at close range than an auto rifle. It's got a 3 times the fire rate.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter that the magazine's only half the size. But that's Destiny 2. Played the raid, played a bit of PvP, had some fun. But I will say this, there's a large contingency of people on the Destiny subreddit who are moving back to Destiny 1 because there's more content.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, we did say that best time to play Destiny 2 will be in 3 years' time.
Yeah. Well, Destiny 1 has just had, this is, I guess, news. Destiny 1 has had the complete game basically released for Xbox One finally. Because,
Oh, yeah, so they've got all the stuff that was PlayStation exclusive.
yeah,
Has finally gone to Destiny 1.
which is brilliant because the one thing that's new for Xbox One in strike terms is there's a new strike mission that was on PlayStation before, but they've removed the Nightfall out of the rotation in Destiny 1, I think. So you can't play it on its hardest difficulty on it's like PlayStation players never got a chance to play it on the hardest difficulty despite having it. They never really got to play it at all because it wasn't part of the rotation. It was just if you wanted to do the strike, you had to select it. So now that it's been released for Xbox, and you'd be thinking, oh yeah, now PlayStation players can play it at high difficulty. No, you can't, because they've taken it. The rotations are completely pretty much gone because it's not there. Same with the 3-ish extra Crucible maps, because they've removed because Trials is no longer part of Destiny 1 and neither is Iron Banner. Those maps aren't really going to be played on Destiny 1 in any sort of competitive way. It's just going to be standard, just quick matches of that game, of whichever game mode you happen to choose at the time.
Okay.
So you've got 3 new maps, but you don't get to play them on the good game modes. You know, to really test yourself against your opponents.
Fair
You just
enough.
get to play against the guys who haven't yet moved on to Destiny 2, or they're waiting for Christmas for the
Yeah,
parents to buy it for them or something.
that's what I'm waiting for.
What, waiting for your parents to buy you Destiny 2?
Yes.
Cool.
When they do, I will play Destiny 2.
Good plan, actually. Kind of works. It's how I got Rise of Iron. I
Yeah.
wouldn't have played it if it not for parents buying it.
Yeah.
So, you play anything else, Brooks?
Well, talking about people buying you things, I found myself with some. This is weird. So I found myself with some game vouchers for my birthday a
Okay.
couple of months ago.
All right.
So bought a couple of games and had a little bit left over on the card. So I bought the Uncharted trilogy on PS4.
Probably could have put that towards your Xbox One X Scorpio Edition purchase.
Yeah, probably didn't think of that at the time. But yeah, so I bought the Uncharted trilogy because I've platinumed 1 and 2 on the PS3, and I will not be platining them again. Fuck that, because crushing difficulty is bastard hard.
Bastard hard?
But it is bastard hard. But I've never played Uncharted 3, and I thought, you know what? It was like 14 quid pre-owned. So fuck it, I'll give it a go. Then subsequently, I rented and then clicked the keep button on Uncharted 4 and Uncharted The Lost Legacy from Boomerang Games, and using my payback points that I get from just being a customer,
Yep.
I got those 2 games combined for like 16 quid.
All right, that's not bad.
So I've spent a little over £30 for 5 games,
Cool.
and I am okay with that.
It's,
So I decided what I was going to do actually is I was going to leave all 5 of them till next year when I start whatever gaming based challenge I start next year. But I was like, no, I'm going to play Uncharted. So I played Uncharted Drake's Fortune. It's Uncharted 1.
okay.
Have you ever played any of the Uncharted games?
I've never owned a PlayStation long enough to play an Uncharted game.
Fair enough. So Uncharted is 10 years old. It came out in 2007. And it is now a pretty basic cover-based shooter where you also do treasure hunting stuff. So, you'll walk into an area and kill a bunch of dudes who are also treasure hunting, and then once everyone's dead, you go around searching for glittery things, which, it turns out to be an emerald-encrusted golden dildo that once belonged to Francis Drake's cousin/wife.
Yep.
And then you move on to the next area and do that again. You have a few platforming puzzles. There's very, very basic puzzles to like open doors and things. It's Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
This is not news. Uncharted is Tomb Raider with a dude.
Yeah.
And a little bit later on, we got a Tomb Raider reboot, which was basically Uncharted with a chick.
Yeah.
Swings and roundabouts and all that. But yeah, it's fun. It's a little action adventure. I think I finished it on normal, I think.
So not bastard hard difficulty.
Oh no, fuck that. It is awful. Like, it is so frustratingly hard, crushing difficulty, especially when, even in like the 10 years since the first one's come out, we've been spoilt with controls and control schemes and just the way games move. The shooting in this game is fucking terrible. The aiming in this game is fucking horrendous, and the hitboxes are just disgusting. But I was getting quite clear headshots, and these people weren't even moving. But you shoot a couple of inches to the side of their head, and suddenly your headshot counter's going up.
All right.
What the fuck is going on here?
Well, this is Naughty Dog's first real attempt at playing of a shooter.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, it's not. It doesn't detract from the game. The story is a lot of fun, and Nathan Drake as a character is he's Indiana Jones. You know, he's just quippy and just seemingly immortal because he gets attacked by everything and everyone and falls down holes and things and is still alive. You know, your basic Indiana Jones style protagonist.
Yeah.
He's but he's he's fun to play as. But the movement in this game, yeah, you can tell it's a 10-year-old game. Like it's clunky. And it's the best word for it is clunky. Which does make some of the platforming puzzles that need a little bit of finesse, and thankfully there's only a couple that aren't super simple and super easy. But it makes the ones that you need a bit of finesse that can make them a bit frustrating. But it's cleaned up nicely. Blue Point Games have HDified it. They've been responsible, for a few kind of HD re-releases over the years. But yeah, from what I gather, Uncharted 2 is still like the gold standard of these games. And from what I remember, Uncharted 2 fixes a lot of the issues that I have with Uncharted 1. But, those issues are still there, but they don't detract from the game. I'm very much looking forward to doing Uncharted 2 because it's very, very cinematic, very set piecey, and a lot of fun. But yeah, I played Tomb Raider with a bloke for about 10 hours and completely forgot there were zombies in it.
Wait, what?
Yep.
Okay.
That's all I'm
Zombies.
going to say, because if you haven't played it, it will spoil it. And if anybody else hasn't played it, it will spoil it. But yes, zombies appear. And you're like, wait, what the fuck? I completely forgot they were there. And I also completely forgot that it had one of those sections where you have to just run away from things and not try and fight. Because if you try and fight, you're going to die. So you just have to run away. And it took 3 or 4 deaths for me to remember that.
Just run from zombies.
Yes.
Alright. So, you played some Uncharted. You plan to play more Uncharted?
Yeah, well, I'm definitely looking forward to playing number 2. I don't know when I'm going to start it, because like we were saying at the beginning of the episode, we've got all these new games coming out. Can I really justify ignoring brand new games to play a game from 2009?
Probably not.
No.
But
But I can save the Uncharted games for whatever I decide to do challenge-wise next year.
yeah, I mean, if your challenge ends up being try and play a different game that you own and haven't recently purchased within the last 12, okay, maybe not 12 months, especially at the early start of the year, a game that you've not purchased in the last, since that month of last year, maybe, then yeah, maybe throw in the Uncharted games towards the end of your year.
Yeah. But yeah, but we've got, and one of the games is almost brand new. Lost Legacy's only been out a couple of weeks.
True.
But I own it and it's in the collection waiting for me to get to. So, they're not going anywhere. They'll be here for a while. So, and I might kind of save Lost Legacy until, PlayStation Pro and 4K TV. Because man, did that game look good on PlayStation Pro and 4K TV at EGX.
Yeah, it did. It was quite pretty, but I didn't play it. I watched you play it. I watched Dunny play it, and I watched a bit of Josh playing it.
Yeah,
because I just couldn't be bothered to play it myself.
They are fun games, and they're probably as close to what I would call pick up and play games as an action adventure game like that could be. Like the chapters are short. Like the game, I think took me 10 hours to finish, maybe a little less. It's 22 chapters long. So, games are very short, chapters are very short, so you can pick it up. I've got half hour to kill. Let's play a bit of Uncharted. do a puzzle, kill some dudes, you know, find a diamond encrusted set of anal beads, move on.
Yeah.
It's a fun game to just pick up and go, yeah, I'm just going to do a little bit. Like I finished it the other day. Was it Sunday? I think I finished it, and I knew I was near the end. Like, wife and little and nipped out to Tesco's to get a couple of bits for dinner. Like, I'm going to stick Uncharted on. Next thing I know, like, oh, I finished Uncharted.
Oops.
Yeah, it was but yeah, literally it took 20 minutes. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, fun game. Really, really recommended. Even at 10 years old, if it's one of those games that if you haven't picked it up, or if you played it back in the PS3 days and you're wondering whether or not to revisit it, do so. Because like I say, I platinumed it back in the PS3 days, and it's still fun to play now. Even though if I platinumed it, that means I played through it at least twice, but probably 3 times.
Yeah, well, maybe I will end up with a Pro and a 4K TV, and I'll just be like, never played Uncharted.
I can't imagine Uncharted 1 looking good on a 4K TV.
Well, no, that's why you have the increased frame rate and power of the Pro, but you have the low resolution of 1080p.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, it looks lovely and upgraded from 2007. It does look nice, but you can only roll that shit in sugar so much.
2007 is still the HD generation.
It is, yeah. Well, it was a PS3 game,
Yeah.
but it was an early PS3 game,
Mm,
and it shows.
yeah.
It's a bit like you look at play Gears of One,
Gears of
Gears of
One.
One War,
Yeah.
Gears of War 1. Not the Ultimate Edition, but just download the one of the many copies of Gears of War 1 you have been given for free, and play it.
Yeah.
It's still great and it still looks lovely, but it still looks like an old game.
Yeah, it's like Mass Effect 1 still looks fucking awful.
Yeah.
Hilariously awful, in fact.
But yeah, that's all my games. And now my dog is snoring over in the corner.
Nice. Well,
For fuck's sake.
you have been boring her for the last hour and a half.
Bless her. Yeah, that's all my games.
Yep, and I've done all my games as well, so that pretty much just leaves us with recommendations. Brooks, have you got one?
I do.
What is
I'm
it?
going to stick with a horror theme as well.
Ooh. Are you going to select possibly the same one that I'm going to select?
Find out in a sec, won't we?
Yeah.
Have you seen the PlayStation Plus games this month?
No, I haven't.
Then you and I aren't selecting the same game.
Ooh.
PlayStation Plus games for October includes, and this is amazing, and I've downloaded this already, and I don't know if I've got the bollocks to play it, but I'm going to have them anyway. The Amnesia Collection
Ooh.
is free on PlayStation Plus.
Alright.
For those that have never played Amnesia, you're in for a treat. For those that have played Amnesia, you know why I'm not sure whether or not I want to turn it on again. It is fucking terrifying, but it is brilliant. It's one of the best horror games ever made. So, for free, it's the best price. What about you, mate?
So I'm going to recommend Xbox One games with gold title for a little while. Gone Home, which is a first-person adventure exploration game, which is you play as a girl who's come home from like college, and she's basically trying to find out through finding journals what's kind of just sort of happened while she's been gone.
Yeah.
And you can get the full 1000 Gs of it in about an hour and a half.
Okay.
So it's an hour and a half platinum. If you really want to boost your achievement score just for the sake of doing it, it's an hour and a half of your time. But it's, from what I've seen, I haven't personally played it. I've got it downloaded. I will probably definitely play it when I find myself with a random bit of time where I'm not really doing anything. Probably waiting between squad battles.
Yeah.
Squat
I say for an hour and a half, that's a. Oh, I've just put dinner on to cook.
yeah,
Let's do this real quick.
yeah. But it's got an interesting story, and it's like it's just you're just journal hunting basically. You're walking around a house just finding pages essentially.
Yeah. So Gone Home's one of those games that's been around for a while, and everybody that's played it raves about it. I just haven't got around to playing it, so
Yeah,
I didn't.
the reason I'm recommending it is because despite not playing it, I keep seeing loads of other people saying it's a really good game to just pick up. And for an hour and a half of your time, you might as well play it. And
Yeah,
it's
what the
free.
fuck not?
It's free. It's an hour and a half long.
I'm literally, as we speak, because obviously my Xbox is sad and alone over in the corner waiting to be sold, but I am booting up the Xbox app while we talk, and I'm going to add it to my list so I don't lose it or forget it.
Yay!
Yeah.
So that's us, pretty much. Just,
Yeah.
where can people find you, Mr. Brooks?
I am on Twitter at Rooker411, and that is pretty much it.
That's the only place people can find you.
Yeah, for the moment, I'm kind of working slowly in the background on sorting out stuff for us doing videos and things. So, like Character Unlock now has a PlayStation and an Xbox Live account, so we can do things like streaming and Mixer and all that kind of bollocks. But yeah, I'm not really doing anything online much outside of bitching and moaning about whatever is making me bitch and moan on Twitter.
So I'm on Twitter as @thejohn_cu, on Xbox Live as Long Dong Silver, but as you heard Brooker mention, we're sorting out Character Unlock's accounts, so I'll probably stop plugging my gamer tag despite everyone loving it.
It is a good gamer tag.
Just because yes, I'll be using it, but if I'm going to be playing for us, a bit less than, depending on what I'm playing, I guess. I mean, there's going to be games where I'm going to have to play with my own account because it's ones I want to play with my own account because it's ones I'm working on with my own account. But
Well, yeah, it's one of those things, though, isn't it? It's like if I want to stream a bit of, I don't know, Battlefield, I will be doing it on my account because that's where I've unlocked what I want and set up my loadouts how I want.
yeah,
But I don't know if we end up with random review code for some dodgy game, just assign it to that and play it there.
yeah. Or if it's a game that has no real progression or requirement for story saving, which
Yeah.
I mean, I could easily play FIFA on the Character Unlock account, but I'd lose my Ultimate Team.
Yeah.
So it's swings and roundabouts, really.
Yep.
I could play Destiny on the Character Unlock account, but I'd lose progression of my character. I mean, it doesn't take a lot to get to the level I am at the moment. I mean, that only took me however long Destiny's been out. It's a month now to get where I am. So there's that. So
Yep.
otherwise, you can find us at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Dude, Facebook is awesome and really not all at the same time.
Yeah.
So we keep getting messages telling us that people have liked our posts and liked the page. That's been going on for like a week. Do you know why?
I do not know. Why are we getting liked?
So because I booted up the Character Unlock Facebook page as a business account from my home Facebook.
Yep.
I keep getting messages from Facebook telling me to promote posts.
Oh yeah, I get that.
Yeah. So I don't know if you. Well, I assumed you got them because you're an admin on the page as well.
Yeah.
And I always kind of said, I will at some point promote a post because why the fuck not? But I'm not doing it just yet, mainly because it costs, and it doesn't cost a lot, but it costs.
Yeah.
And I got an email from Facebook telling me that I'd got a £30 voucher for advertising.
Right.
So I was like, cool. And no, it wasn't an email, it was a post on my Facebook feed. So as I was going through my feed, it went, you have a £30 voucher. Use it to boost your page. I was like, cool, I'll do that. And I went through all of it, all the time, assuming that at some point it would get me to write a post or choose a post or something for the for this fucking advertisement.
Yeah.
And when I got to the end and hit boost post, it just automatically boosted the post that I had no idea it had selected. So for the past 10 days, we've been boosting a post that has done nothing but suggest that we've changed our email address within our Facebook profile.
Nice.
Literally, if you click on the thing that these people like, it literally just says Character Unlock has changed their email address.
Oh,
And that's it.
nice.
That got like a 800-person reach.
Nice.
I told 800 people by accident that we changed our email address and got one actual bona fide page like out of it. Seems like money well spent.
Yeah.
I'm such a fucking mong. I couldn't fucking believe it. I'm sitting going, how am I a reasonably clever person
You still
And-
managed to fuck up Facebook.
and managed to fuck up Facebook somehow? Fuck's sake. But yeah, that was my experience with Facebook. That's why we've been getting really stupid, annoying messages all week that someone has liked our post.
Is it going to go away? How long have you boosted it for?
It finished today.
That's all right then.
I got the final invoice through today. Yeah.
Okay.
So next time I will plan that a bit better.
Next time, boost a post that was actually useful to us.
Well, I kind of assumed I'd get to write a really cool, interesting post. Not that I am capable of writing anything cool or interesting, but it would certainly be better than, here's our email address. I'm surprised we haven't been spammed.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't. How did it even choose that one? Was it just the most recent one when you, or it was
But it
just?
wasn't the most recent one. I changed the profile 2 months ago. I've posted plenty of stuff since then. It just randomly picked that post. I don't understand how it works. But what's annoying is now, when I go through my feed, it shows me like character unlock. And then the descriptions are two mates and their mates who talk about games. I was like, that would have been perfect. Why didn't you boost that one, you fucking bellend?
I'm trying.
Yeah.
It's. You know what? It was absolutely because it was the most recent change you've made to the character unlock Facebook page, because it had been changing something that was the most recent. That is literally the only reason to why they boosted that one.
Yeah. So yeah, that was me and my fucking stupidity.
Yeah, you're not a
Fuck's sake.
smart fella.
No, I'm not. Yeah. Makes me wonder sometimes. Ooh. Ooh. In case you're interested, you may not be. In case you're interested, there is a free weekend for Ghost Recon Wildlands starting on Thursday.
Yay.
It's not that good, but you might like it. So yesterday, as this episode comes out, the free weekend started and it's free until Sunday night. So there we go. I think we're done, mate.
I think we are.